Are you taking enough bowel strength or probiotics to heal your bowel? It's very important that you don't just use probiotics or bowel strength, but that you use the correct amount so that you actually get the result of a healthy bowel bacterial environment. The product is important, the correct amount and using it correctly is way more important. So before I go on, let me remind you that bowel strength and probiotics work the same way. They both heal the bowel bacterial environment in your gut. One is not better than the other. One does not work faster than the other. They do the same thing. If you don't understand how and why they do the same thing, I have a video called How Do Probiotics Really Work? But you can also find information, especially in my first book, Unique Healing, especially in chapter 7, that gives you a very clear understanding of the misunderstandings about probiotics and that they don't do what you think they do, and why, again, a product like Bowel Strength does the same thing in healing the bacterial environment in your gut. What I see happen kind of often, and this is partly why I'm doing this video, and this is what concerns me, is I'll have a client who starts off with Bowel Strength, or someone who's just ordered products online, and maybe they're doing 12 Bowel Strength a day, and then I'll talk to them again, and they'll say that they've switched over to probiotics, and I'll ask them, well, how many billions are you taking? And they'll go get their little bottle, and they'll say, oh, I'm doing, let's see, one a day, yeah, 30 billion a day. And I'm like, hello? 6 Bowel Strength is about as strong as 250 billion probiotics. So the 12 a day that that person was taking was equivalent to about 500 billion. If they're not doing 30, they went from driving 80 miles an hour to 3 miles an hour. I don't know if that's the right math, but you get the idea, right? Like, oh my gosh, you need a very high level of probiotics to do the same thing as Bowel Strength, and you are going to need a high level of probiotics to heal your bowel. Most of my clients take probably about 750 billion organisms of probiotics, or maybe like 15 Bowel Strength a day, and even that usually takes them a couple years to actually heal that gut. I think part of the problem is many of you have dangerously and wrongly been led to believe that this product or program that some other practitioner maybe has advised to you, or that you're taking, or that you've read about, has healed your bowel simply because you're feeling better. But feeling better doesn't mean you've healed your bowel. Most of the time someone's going to put you on a strict diet, so they've taken away your gluten and your carbs and your wheat and put you on a million vitamins, all those crutches that make you feel better. And then they give you a teeny amount of probiotics and they act as though, or mislead you into thinking, and I don't think they do that intentionally, they just don't have the knowledge to know any better, but you are led to believe that since you're feeling better on all those very strict crutches, that piddly amount of probiotics has actually healed your bowel. It hasn't, and it didn't. How do you know when your bowel has really been healed? Well, I have a very clear description of that in my first book in chapter 7, the definition of a healed bowel. But I'll just reemphasize that for you. I'll expand upon that. When you have a healthy bowel bacterial environment, you will not get bacterial, fungal, or parasitic infections. So you will not end up with sinus infections or any other bladder infections or infections that require antibiotics or even something natural like colloidal silver to treat it. When you have a healthy bowel bacterial environment, your bowels will never be more than twice a day, and they will never be really loose, and they will not be green or yellow or white or some other funky color that they're not supposed to be. When you have a healthy bowel bacterial environment, all your hormone levels will be stable if you're a woman. You won't need your bioidentical hormones, you won't need your natural progesterone cream, you won't need your synthetic hormones. When you go get your hormone levels tested, your estrogen, testosterone, progesterone levels will be all normal. If you're a man, your testosterone and even your estrogen and progesterone levels, all those things are going to be in normal, healthy balance. Some of you find that when you use vitamin B12 that you have a lot more energy, you're less depressed, you crave less sugar, alcohol, coffee, whatever. When your bowel is healthy, you won't need that crutch to get those same results. When your bowel is healthy, you won't need melatonin to sleep through the night. So remember, in chapter 3 of my first book, there's a description of all the functions of that healthy bowel bacterial environment. When you've actually healed, all those things will be occurring without any effort, without you needing to use a crutch, change your diet, anything like that. You'll be able to eat a lot of fiber, not get bloated. I mean, there's all kinds of examples in here, okay? So, do be careful that you don't go too slow. Remember that on my products, I have to limit the recommendations I make, just legally. But I would encourage you to be more aggressive. You can figure out how to do that by reading both of my books. You cannot succeed with this program without reading them both, by the way, Unique Healing and Unique Healing 2. You can contact me for an appointment if you'd like to kind of bypass some of that reading, not all of it, but some of it, and get a more individualized, aggressive recommendation on what you should be taking. But again, just make sure that this doesn't take you a very long time. I don't think most of you have the patience to spend 5-10 years healing your bowel. Even though that's better than what most of you are doing. When most of you come to me, you're either not healing it at all, or you're taking an amount of probiotics that, no kidding, would take like 100 years to actually heal your gut. So even 5 or 10 years is a massive improvement upon that, but I get it, okay? You shouldn't have to wait that long. Most of you won't wait that long. Most of you will be tempted by a zillion quick fix other programs if it takes a long time to heal your bowel. So do it correctly. Make sure you do it correctly. Again, contact me if you're not sure if you are, or thoroughly read both of my books to make sure you're not going so slow. And if you switch from bowel strength to probiotics, my goodness, make sure that you're not taking a teeny amount of probiotics. Make sure you're taking the correct amount to equal what you used to be on. So I hope that helps. And again, as always, check out my website, www.uniquehealing.com, for more information.